Thanks for tuning in to this wonderful Friday of a 3-day weekend. I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.
And I'm student meteorologist Cynthia Serta.
And we've seen cloud cover stick around our area for the entirety of the day. Not really much of a temperature fluctuation, so it's kind of been a dreary day, as you said to me.
Yeah, it's been super dreary all day. Although I would say it felt like a lot of relief from that hot September and that first half hot October that we had.
Yeah, and Michael, our producer, one of our former producers standing behind the camera right now, would call this day a raw day, which means it's bleak, damp, and cold. So we've got that kind of.
All right. It's not going to be too bad of weather for the fair, though, which is going on and just started this weekend.
Yeah, there were some goats there, and we even saw a weird goat that bawed really strangely. So if you want to see that, also a weird goat, then go to the fair. It's always a wonderful activity to go see. It's typical. I mean, Tallahassee is a great city. We've got some great activities, and coming up later on the show, Chris will talk about those upcoming activities for the Veterans Day weekend, as we will not have class on Monday.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, supporting our veterans here at FSU, very big component of FSU. And
Absolutely.
the following football game will be the Veterans Appreciation football game. So they'll bring out the Marines, the Army, and the Air Force onto the field and talk about kind of what they've brought FSU students have done. So yeah, we got cold temperatures just for a little bit, and then we got even colder temperatures, but we'll have more on that, break it down just a little bit more.
I think it'll make it a pleasurable noon game next Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Despite it being a noon game, we will have the nice temperatures to balance it out. Luckily, it's not a noon game in August when it's 95 degrees, we're sweating, and it's hot. But to talk more about the weather, Chris is going to give us the overview for the show.
Thank you, Dylan. I hope the fact it's Friday is bringing some sunshine to your day. It's been pretty cloudy throughout the entire day. You had a few light showers that passed through the area on the satellite radar. You can see these showers just sticking around just south of I-10. Parts of it branching up, and as we start moving out, you can see them just shooting over all over the coast of the Gulf. For a 3-day forecast, you can see Saturday, it's going to be sitting pretty cool at 67 degrees. You're going to be waking up really chilly at 39 degrees on Sunday morning. Definitely want to be bringing a jacket if you plan on going to one of the many Veteran Day weekend things we have planned for Sunday. Monday, it's going to be 77, warming up a little bit. It was a cloudy, cool day that's going to be sticking around. Beautiful weekend ahead, and the temperatures are going to start to plummet next week. But for now, I'm going to hand things off to Zach for a look at the southeast.
Thanks, Chris. And we do have a lot of changes coming for our southeast, as we had a front push through earlier this morning across Florida, and now it's sort of draping here across central Florida. So a lot of changes to be seeing right now. We're starting to see 63 degrees, so our temperature is starting to drop as that sunset. 51 in Montgomery, going a little bit more north. We even see some 30s up in Nashville there. And our dew points are starting to feel relatively dry. So what we have is we have that cold front push through, and now we have high pressure sort of dominating the region, and we can sort of see where this line of the dry air versus the moist area is here. So around Montgomery, they're feeling a little bit drier. We're still seeing a little bit of that moisture, and that's why we do have some of those showers that are sticking around the area. So we do have some cloud cover going on right now. We do have some showers that are leaving the area, but by tomorrow morning, we'll be expecting clear skies, nice sunny conditions for our weekend. And our winds are all sort of pushing out of the north, and that is causing some cold air advection, and that means that we're going to be seeing temperatures continuing to cool, and this is all a result of that front that we saw push through overnight last night and into this morning. And so here's where our front's sitting right now. We have a little bit of cloud cover, some rain lingering around with it, but that should be clearing out, some dry conditions as the high pressure moves in. And something that we haven't really seen for a while, it's been a fairly warm October and start of November, but we do have a freeze warning for some of the southeast. Atlanta, one of the biggest cities, sitting in that freeze warning. So be sure to start cranking up those heaters, something that you haven't had to turn on for a little while. And we do have some drought conditions. The rain is helping a little bit with that. We were in a very severe drought, extreme drought, earlier in the month of October, but right now the rain has started to push in a little bit. We've seen a little bit more rain over the past week or so. So we are in a monitored drought, but over towards Texas, they really are still fighting with some of that dry weather. There are some deep red spots there where there's some extreme drought. And our next 24 hours, we're going to see this push through. You can see the cloud cover push out, and then we're going to see tomorrow morning waking up to clear skies, very sunny conditions as high pressure builds in. and we'll be feeling those cooler temperatures. And then this is just going to continue to push out. And South Florida is going to be seeing a little bit of showers tomorrow, but by the end of the weekend, everybody's going to be dry, feeling very, very comfortable conditions. For tonight, we're even going to be seeing some 20s in Nashville, 25, 28 in Little Rock, clear skies. We're going to still be a little bit cloudy, and those clear skies are going to keep pushing down into the region where you do have some showers lingering around the Tallahassee area. 47 degrees for a low tonight, 53 in Jacksonville. And for tomorrow's forecast, we're going to see a high of 68. Look at that sunshine there. And again, that front is still sort of pushing through the Central Florida, South Florida. So they're going to have a little bit of those cloudy conditions, a little bit of showers in Miami for tomorrow. They're going to be on the warmer side, 79 there. But now I'm going to start to send things off to Cynthia, and she's going to give us a look at our local forecast here in Tallahassee.
Thank you, Zach. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, we've got 65 in New Orleans, 68 in Tallahassee, 64 in Montgomery, and 60 in Jackson. For our almanac, high today was 70, just below the average. Our low today was 62. Looking at this really low here down in 1976, 26 degrees. I'm glad we didn't have that weather today. For current conditions in the area, it's 63 degrees and cloudy. Winds moving in from the north at 8 miles per hour. For temperatures in the Panhandle, we're looking at 62 in Valdosta, 62 in Monticello, 65 in St. Mark's. Looks like everyone's hovering in the low 60s today. Again, due to that cold front that is moving its way through the southeast today. For our dew points, a little bit lower than we've been seeing through September and October. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful to feel those drier conditions in the area. Carabel is sitting at 60, with Apalachicola sitting at 56, Thomasville at 55, Monticello at 59, and Tallahassee at 58. For our wind speed directions, you can see all of this wind is moving its way from the north and working its way south into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, this is from the cold front that moved its way through Florida today, and it's going to be working its way through Tallahassee and should be gone by the end of the night. For current satellite and radar, we see some showers moving its way through the I-10 corridor. A lot of these showers are really light. It's not heavy rain, so it's not dangerous conditions. You can drive in those conditions if you must leave your home tonight. Make sure that you check the weather before you do. But the showers were really light, and they should be moving their way through by the end of the night. For our drought monitor, again, Tallahassee sitting in a moderate drought, with Valdosta and Lake City still in a severe drought. They're still not reaching that rainfall capacity that they need to make up for that really dry September that we had. For the next 24 hours, again, you can see the cloud cover and those light showers working their way through. And again, this was from the cold front that moved its way through earlier today. For the week ahead, Saturday and Sunday are going to be nice and sunny. Monday will be at 77. That'll be the highest temperature that we're going to see in the next week. Tuesday, we're looking at a 50% chance of rain with some light showers. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday should be feeling great at 57, 61, and 63. The big news is we're finally moving into that fall weather, with our lows sitting at 46, 39, 47. Those are great temperatures. Take your dog for a walk. Enjoy that cool weather that we've been waiting for all semester. But for now, I'm going to pass things over to the desk with Evan and Zach.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. And we are really embracing the cold temperatures all across this next week. We should be really expecting lows to be much around the 40-degree range, honestly, throughout the next week.
And that's a big change. We saw some unseasonably warm temperatures in October, but starting this week, it started to sort of transition a little bit. I know I had to put on a pair of jeans for the first time. It's not shorts weather anymore.
Yep.
I had to break out the hoodie out of the closet. So if you're in the Tallahassee area, maybe start to find some of that winter clothing, as it's going to start to get a little cool over the next few days.
Yeah, definitely, with the cold front that's been moving through really all day today, and there will be some more rain on the way for Tuesday. It's really going to drop our low to around 38. We're looking at temperatures around there.
Yeah, so definitely a jacket-type temperature. And I know something that a lot of Floridians haven't had to use in a while is the heater. I don't know if I've had my heater on since like March, maybe even the end of April, but I don't even know that's pushing it. So definitely going to have to start as we wrap out this week, it's going to be cooler, so we can probably have our windows open instead of running that AC. But then, if the AC season's about over, we're going to start having to use that heater for the rest of the month
Absolutely.
of November.
And time for really some cold weather activities as well with that stuff like that. Hot chocolate, you've got some of that lying around. Maybe a nice bonfire outside. Really start to really be cooking in a lot of those cold weather activities and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know I hate hearing it living in Florida, but I think beach season is about over. Starting to get a little too cold for that. Last beach trip of the season just passed, so that's something I'm disappointed about.
Oh, yeah. But tonight's low, in fact, as well. It should be 46, so definitely across the next week. Definitely bundle up. Make sure you're definitely getting all those jackets out of the closet. Definitely wearing all that winter gear to stay along with that. But
and definitely the cold weather is always something to look forward to. It'll be nice to be at that football game next week with the cooler temperatures instead of sitting in the heat and sweating like what's the trend been. But now let's start to talk about that cooler weather across the region on the wall.
Yeah, what's going on with that nation? Because that's kind of what's giving that cool air. So we're going to start off and look at this graphic. So for our national high and low, Falcon Site, Texas high of 95. That July-like heat, and then you go to a place like Black River Falls, Wisconsin, -8, pure Arctic air, and that is what makes our country so interesting. We have this battle zone for our air, and that really gives us all that great weather we see in North America. So taking on our look at our region, Tallahassee 63, a little cool but pleasant compared to, let's say, Chicago 29, Detroit at 33. And then as you head further out west, where you're getting to that little bit of ridge, you can see it's warmer. Look at Phoenix 88, San Francisco 58, Los Angeles 76, so it's pretty warm out in the west and pretty cool in the east. And that is a trend that we've been seeing. And for the dew points, it's reflecting all that cool air behind that cold front. It's very dry. Louisville, 17. Chicago, dew point is 7. You really need to bring up that chapstick and that type of dry Canadian air. It's really going to get at you. And then you head down to Florida. As always, it's that sore spot. Look, Miami, 70. As always, Florida is at double standard. And also a little bit more moisture will be out towards the Pacific coast. Out by that cool maritime air, Los Angeles at a 53 dew point. And so this is really what I'm talking about. All those dry dew points, that's because you have all these high pressures. If you ask the nation what its mood was, it'd be saying high with all these high pressures. Not much really going on. You do have some overwashed out at Tallahassee behind that cold front. And you do have a little bit of synoptic system by Winnipeg. That's our next storm coming in. But overall, it's pretty good out there. It is cold, though. There's not a lot going on, but it is cold. As this is seen, you got that freeze warning by Atlanta, stretching down into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and even North Carolina, South Carolina. So if you are in the South and you're not used to it, do keep a lookout. Make sure you cover those plants. I know it's still in harvest season, November, so just keep a lookout there. And then for today, thunderstorm is pretty good for Florida. If you're south I-4 corridor, there's a little bit more heat and stability, so do look for a thunderstorm to pop up. And this is kind of seen. This edge of the cold deck right here, that is where our cold front is. This cloud deck is really the market, and you can kind of see that thunderstorm I've been talking about. Is that lightning by Lake Okeechobee, and then just some light showers behind that cold front in Tallahassee, not really a big concern with us. And so looking out into that next 24 hours, you can see that high pressure sink down, bringing some of that Canadian air, that snow, and that's indicative of that cold presence. And like I said, there will be some moisture down by Florida, but overall nothing to worry about. If you're on the west coast, we will experience a little cold front moving into the northwest, but Seattle is always wet, and so that is not too big of a shocker. And so tonight's forecast, keeping out to the west, pretty mild out into the west, out by Los Angeles and Phoenix and the desert regions. A little bit cooler out in the Mountain West. But the main story is the southeast and those really cool temperatures. 26 Louisville, 36 Atlanta, like I said, that freeze warning. And so we definitely need to be alert out if we are in the southeast. And then those high temperatures is going to be beautiful fall weather for that Alabama LSU football game. A little bit cool up in Minnesota for their big Penn State game. Overall, it's going to be pretty good weather. And like I said, it will be a little bit warm out in the southwest regions. So now we're going to bring it out to Dylan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, we only saw 0.1 inches when this almanac came out. Unfortunately, that's not enough to get back to where we need to be. Look at how much we are below the year. We are very dry here in Tallahassee, even though we've seen increased rainfall this month. So any little bit of rain we will see for the next couple of, through the night will be helpful. 63 degrees, we've already started to cool down just a bit. Look behind me, you can't see any of the clouds because it's too dark outside with all that cloud cover sticking around our area. Only a light breeze to make things just a little bit chillier than it does actually feel outside. And looking around the region, we've already seen cooler temperatures temperatures than we did yesterday, seeing 63 here in Tallahassee. Donaldsville, where more of the front has settled in, they're seeing 60 degrees, and in Quincy, 59 as well. A little bit on the coast, you have increased moisture, and you don't cool off as quickly, so only getting down to 65 degrees in St. Mark, 63 in Perry. Going even to our dew points, these are 10, even 15 degrees less than what we saw yesterday, 58, so it's now more comfortable. It's not as humid, we're more dry, and it's just great conditions, and this will continue into tonight. And we do see those winds coming off the land, bringing in those drier conditions, the colder conditions, as this cold front really does settle into our area. And as we get into our frontal system, you do see it kind of the surface front down into South Florida, but the bulk of the front, the upper level part of it, well, that's still behind it. We've seen some rain here, only a light drizzle in our area. Cloud cover is really, really far back, even into parts of northern Georgia, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. That front in the upper levels is still there, but that's going to clear out as we get into tonight. You can see the next 24 hours, once we get to about 4 a.m., clouds will be clearing, rain chances will have disappeared, and then we get into a complete day of clear conditions tomorrow and Sunday as well. And then what is this? Something's appearing. Oh, it's tomorrow's forecast, November 9th. It just appeared out of nowhere. And I guess I have to, what will I do? I guess I'm going to forecast what tomorrow's forecast will be. And let's see what it is, folks. 51 degrees is what you will be waking up to, and it is super effective. Might need a jacket for that. Getting up to 67 degrees as our high. And then as we look at the 7-day ahead, you do see 67 degrees tomorrow. Then getting into Sunday, we have clear conditions as well, just warming up a bit as that cold front has moved out of our area. We see some warming conditions with that sun sticking around. Then clouds start to increase just a bit back into Monday. 77 is our high, warming up a bit, but start to see our lows. We got down to 39 on Sunday. Well, those will start to increase with the next frontal system, getting to 52. Look at this, 52 as our low on Tuesday, and our high Wednesday, 57. That's just insane, folks. Getting into the past that next cold front system, our lows drop into the 38, 40, 47, and our highs don't even crack 60 on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday barely cracking 60 with a high of 61 degrees and 63. So we're really ushering this wintertime condition without those fall conditions moving into our area. It's just bam, here we are, and that next frontal system with all that Arctic air has moved in. But now to tell us some events going on around Tallahassee with these wonderful weekend conditions and two suns, Chris and Hayden have that for you.
Thank you, Dylan. As he once said, it is going to be a fantastic weekend for Veterans Day. We got tons of events going on campus and off campus.
And then luckily, that cold front is clearing out. We're getting beautiful November weather, and our weather will match those awesome events planned out for us.
Yeah. So before that second cold front comes in and plummets those temperatures down to some not so pleasant ranges, well, we got the Florida Fair going on.
Yeah, the Florida Fair, I went out Thursday night with a couple of friends. It was a blast. It's a good time to bring the family out there. Maybe just bring a slight sweater, as we said. And then also on Saturday, if you're an FSU student, we have yoga on the field at 8 a.m. Like I said, bundle up, but that is another thing coming for us.
Yeah, that's at the Dunlap outdoor practice field. So if yoga is your thing, you might want to ask your trumpet playing roommate to wake you up at 8 a.m. with a little bugling session.
Yeah, and then as in the res 11 to 6, if you want to get outside, explore the great outdoors in that murky lake, the res is the place for you. That is 11 to 6.
The res will also be open on Sunday as well as our Florida State basketball game is also on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Sunday, 1 o'clock. You may go to College Town, maybe watch in your studio, whatever you got to do, but the game should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, but so maybe what we said, none of that has interest you. Well, we still have one more thing to talk about. We got the Veterans Day Parade. So if parades are your thing, you may not like fairs, you may not like basketball, you may not like yoga, you should definitely go out to this parade on Monday. It starts at 9:30. It's going to be a blast. I know I'm going to be there on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. The trumpets are going to be out there blaring. Come support our troops. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. But we're all super excited for Veterans Day. Don't have class Monday. That's fantastic. I know all the students here at FSU are super happy about that. But for now, we're going to send things off to the wall with a look around Florida with Dylan.
Thank you very, oh, well, I guess I'm not on screen. Now I am. Thank you very much, Hayden. Well, I have some issue. You mentioned you went to the fair with some friends. I'm one of your friends, and our favorite trumpet player, Zach Law, was also there, and he's one of your friends. And a lot of this friend stuff means this friendly front has made its way through Central Florida, not to South Florida. Fronts don't really like South Florida. They don't last that long. You see Miami, my hometown, 82 degrees. It is still warm there. Here in Tallahassee, 63 degrees. And finally, at 6:20, we have our sunset in Pensacola, 55 degrees. Very cold there as that front has settled in. Dew points have not been kind to South Florida. 70 degrees. Still feeling the summer conditions at this time of year. Into Pensacola as well. They're seeing the drier conditions as that front has moved through. But you do really see it stalled out with 69-degree dew points in Fort Myers, 70 in West Palm Beach. And then going into our wind speeds, you kind of see where that front is a little better. You get a northerly winds indicating that front has passed through the area. Down into South Florida, though, you see some southerly and variable winds, so it's kind of falling apart. You're not seeing as well-defined frontal features as you go farther down south. Then going into our rainfall, well, we have a lot of rain covering the northern part of the state, the boundary of that frontal system down into South Florida, and you're not really seeing rain ahead of that. Maybe some strong showers over by Lake Okeechobee, but again, cloud cover engulfing most of the northern part of the state. As we go into the next 24 hours, you see things clear out for the northern part. The southern part, not as lucky. They start to see that increased cloud cover, that increased rain chance. Pensacola, Tallahassee, beautiful. At 6 a.m., great conditions. Down to the South Florida, they got that blanket of clouds that we've had all day. But it does clear out as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening, but some spotty showers are still expected into Orlando. And for your football forecast Sunday, the Bucks are playing the Cardinals, and I think this is a bold forecast here. The 2-6 Bucks beating the 3-5-1 Arizona Cardinals. Well, I don't know. If you're going out to Tampa for that game, 77 degrees at kickoff at 1 o'clock, and by the time the game ends, 76. But clouds are not in sight, clear conditions for them. Then going into Sunday, I feel offended by this forecast. I'm a Colts fan, so 17-14 against the Colts in Indianapolis. I mean, you must have a lot of faith in the Colts, Tyler, because that's not going to happen. Though the game is indoors and the stadium will be closed because 51 degrees cloud cover, so not the best conditions to have Lucas Oil open on a Sunday, but 4:05 is that time of that kickoff if you want to watch the Colts win and the Dolphins lose. Going into tonight's forecast, we start to see the front really settle in. Pensacola, 46 degrees, seeing those cooler conditions finally move in. Here in Tallahassee, getting down to a low of 47, with lingering showers kind of in the most northern part of the state. Really, the entirety of the state will see possibly a shower tonight, so not clear conditions throughout the entire part. And then into tomorrow, see suns finally come back into our forecast, 68 degrees here in Tallahassee. Beautiful weekend to go outside, do any of your outdoor activities. Pensacola also seeing a high of 68. South Florida, though, you might want to stay inside. I mean, it's muggy, it's humid, it's hot. It's not fall for them. They're still seeing those summer-like conditions while the northern part of the state starts to see the winter and fall-like conditions take hold. But now to talk about our local area, Evan, you've got that for us.
Thank you very much, Dylan. And really, I wish I could say today has been a great day for a Friday, but it really has not been. A little overcast for us. Finally, that rain has started to slow down just a little bit through our area. Cloudy, looking at 63 degrees. Really, I mean, I was walking out just before the show earlier today, and it was nice to have the rain to cool down. And actually, I didn't sweat for first time in a while. Actually, walking and running around during the heat of the afternoon, really. But we're cooling down to areas of 62 degrees around Monticello, 62 also in Valdosta, really hitting around the area of 60 all throughout the area once this cold front has really made its way through, and the rain has cooled down the temperatures a good amount. Not too severe of a cold front this has been, definitely. Just slow showers all throughout the area. Nothing too severe to entirely worry about with this. We've seen that northerly flow into areas of the Gulf actually throughout the day. 8 miles per hour for Tallahassee in our area. I know it looks like we've been looking at dry muggy meter conditions, but I assure you it's definitely been a wet one out there, especially driving out on the road, anywhere near I-10, anywhere all the way from Texas over to areas of Jacksonville is where we're looking at rain. Even areas in central Florida is where we're also looking to rainy conditions. Again, you're not really seeing much of severity with any of these storms at all, which is good news, but definitely the roads will be very slick if you're traveling anywhere this weekend, especially I know several people who always like to drive back home to Orlando, Miami, anywhere like that. I know not many people will be traveling up to Boston College to watch this one, but definitely be intriguing to see temperatures around the 30s for our players to be dealing with this weekend. Maybe a change will heat them up for better, but regardless, I think this will be a better game. Heating up at 74 degrees in Gainesville. I hope you're as excited as Harrison is for the kickoff at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Make sure to keep that in mind. That could be a good basketball game coming for there. Florida ranked 6th. Who said we can't beat them? I didn't say that myself. But anyways, looking into tonight, we're looking at 46 degrees. Definitely keep that jacket out for the rest of the week. It's definitely good news about it is, though, we should be cloudy early and clearing on later in the evening. So it looks like much of that rain has been gone throughout the night. Just a slight breeze at 9 miles per hour might keep us a little bit cooler into the evening. As we look into this weekend, should be a great weekend at 67 and 73. Good weekend to go out and do anything. Maybe even play out the trumpet outside, honestly. I could try an instrument myself or two, myself, even though I'm not good. But we're going to be hitting temperatures into 39 into Saturday night. That will definitely be much concern. That'll be, I know so many Floridians will be gathering up their heavy coats for that, especially for a lot of these lows coming in later this week, 47, 52, even to 38, even in areas of Tuesday where we're also hitting rain chances. And we're looking at the race of this week. Good news is that Tuesday is the only rain chances we're really looking forward to, and we might be reaching into highs around 77 on Monday at least, and should be good highs for the rest of the week. As we go to the desk for the final segment of the show, and because it's Friday, and Friday is the best day, that's why we have weather history on this day. So what we got for weather history?
So weather history in 1870, go back to 1870, the first storm warning was issued. It just shows we've come such a far away from that time.
1870. What kind of instruments do they have for that? Do you know?
I don't know.
I would have tried to get. I mean, 1870 is what, like 5 years after the Civil War and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They just started using the telegram, stuff like that. Telegram forecast. That'd been very interesting. I know Monday forecasts are in text code nowadays, but still incredible look at how far we've come. And then 1953, we had smog in New York City for a total of 10 full days throughout that area.
Wow. Yeah. So that smog, like, you kind of see that in China and some of the areas where you have bad pollution, you have a lot of air movement, and it just shows you, like, we've got, like, environmentally we're still bad, but we're getting better.
For those who are a little more unfamiliar with what smog is, it is a combination of smoke and air pollution. Imagine, basically, the air is smoke, essentially, throughout 10 full days. It killed over 200 people.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I can't breathe in. I mean, no one can breathe in smoke. I don't know how.
It's like what firefighters deal with consistently.
Yeah.
They're very brave for dealing with that. Good news, we should not have to do anything much with those
No.
conditions coming up. Looking at a beautiful week ahead for most of the weeks, especially during the day. We'll be looking much cooler at night for grabbing definitely some winter coats at night.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take a look at that Sunday morning forecast, 39 degrees. That's going to be, it's definitely chilly, but if you like the cold weather, it's definitely time to walk your dog.
Oh, yeah. Maybe grab your dog a jacket or two as well for himself, yeah.
Follow us on Twitter, FSU Weather.
If you have any pictures of your dog wearing cute little sweaters, I'd like that to send us on Instagram or Facebook.
And make sure to watch us live on YouTube every weekday.
Yep, and you can watch us right now live on YouTube as well as on Instagram at FSU Weather. We're looking forward to this weekend. Should be a beautiful one, especially during the day for parade, all the activities you might be doing this weekend, really. So as for me, I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason.
And I'm student meteorologist Shane Wilder. Have a great Friday.